Good morning and welcome back to another video. Santi has been back home with us for a little over a week now, and I can see what they say when they say that these days, this time just goes by so fast, because it really does. It honestly feels like yesterday that we brought him home, but at the same time it kind of feels like he's been here forever. It just feels really normal really quickly. Tofu! Tofu! What are you doing here?
Tofu won't live without his breakfast.
Tofu, come on, we're going for a walk. Tofu, come on. Come on, this way. Come on.
Do the bottom back. You could even put it like right underneath.
Oh, we can get the mirror up first anyway, and then decide on this.
Yeah. So yeah, the bedroom, we're fairly happy with how we sort of finished it. Like everything we do is like 90% finished, and it will stay like that forever. But yeah, we're running into the issue that the living room, and if you eventually show it, it's a bit of a mess. I'm basically doing like odd jobs, like convenience, quality of life type things, like hanging this mirror here, just so that a lot of the things that we have in storage can be in use, because if they're in storage, they're useless. So this nail was in this raw plug.
I've never seen a roll plug for a nail before. Is it actually a thing? Or is it just something someone invented?
No, I think it is.
Is it destroyed?
Not fully. Or mark. We had to buy a new drill, and we bought this Bosch one, and it's amazing. Harriet burned the last drill, which wasn't a good brand. It was like some weird Amazon drill. So we broke this drill. Apparently it's not meant to be used for mixing cement, and that was about 80% of what I used it for. But yeah, this drill, it's amazing. It's a lot smaller than the one we had, but a lot more powerful. Like, yeah, by Bosch. One thing someone in the comments suggested, rather than use a paintbrush to put on wood stain, is to use a rag or a cloth, so that you're not wasting a paintbrush, because I said that we always kind of waste paintbrushes because we don't have any way of cleaning them safely. I feel like it's going to be a little bit messy, but we'll see how it goes.
few videos ago you will have seen us working on this section of the ceiling that goes between the downstairs up to the living room. You will have seen us fill this area in with foam. It was all open and we used builder's foam to fill in all the gaps. Lots of you mentioned in the comments, and thank you so much, that was a bad idea because that foam doesn't resist heat, and obviously it will need to because the stovepipe is going through here. And yeah, that it can release toxic fumes, and it just wasn't a good choice for that area. I don't know what we were thinking without checking its properties, but yeah, we were in time to remove it all, and Mauro has been working on filling in this big gap with actually cement instead of foam. It took him ages because gravity was not in our favour here. Trying to get cement to stick up was pretty hard, and he had to use loads of little individual pieces of wood as kind of forms to do it piece by piece. I'm not explaining it very well, but I think we have some footage that I will hopefully be able to put over the top so you can see kind of what he had to do. It took him ages, but he's done a really good job. The ceiling kind of blends in, he's plastered over it as well now, and we've got a flat-ish ceiling again. And I think once we paint it, which we're going to do now, it'll look really good. What Mauro is trying to open there is a tin of stuff to, again, try and cover up some of these stains. This is the soot from the chimney that's underneath here coming through and reacting with the plaster, even though there's already a layer of cement behind it, and even though behind that we put a layer of stuff which was supposed to protect whatever came on top from these stains. They're really annoying. We were warned about this. The builder said you will get stains here if you don't remove every single bit of soot from the chimney, and they were absolutely right.
But it was really possible to remove all the soot.
Yeah. We removed a lot. We did our best. So this is what we hope will fix them now. This anti-stain paint has actually been very successful, and it's super white. It's like dazzlingly white, it's whiter than the other paint that we used, but there are no stains visible, so that's good. We've just been really enjoying soaking up family time the last week or so. We've been yeah, taking things slow, doing a few things around the house, getting into our new routines. We've been going for a dog walk every morning when it gets light. It's just a really nice way to start the day, and it forces us to get a few things done early in the morning, feeding, some washing, dressing, things like that, which it would be tempting to maybe just go back to bed, but getting out for a walk is really good. It's doing us a lot of good, I think. Honestly, I know it's early days, but everything is going really well. Oh, a bit too bright. Feeding is going well, sleeping is going well. Everything is going well, really. It's been a really good first week. This is my favourite thing, when his arm is like totally floppy. So cute. How's your first week of being a dad going?
I think pretty good. As you can see, he's happy. Yeah, I think the thing I'm thinking the most is how privileged I am to be able to have as long as a paternity leave as I have, which is not longer than anyone else's in this country, but like I'm aware that in other countries, and like, I don't know, 10 years ago in this country, there wasn't a 16-week paternity leave for fathers. So I don't want to explain how it works because I'm not sure how it works in terms of sharing between the father and the mother, but our situation is that Harriet is self-employed and I'm employed, so I basically get the full maternity leave combined, which is 16 weeks for me, plus all the time that Santi has been in the hospital. So I've just been thinking about that a lot because I'm thinking about like, oh, when do I have to go back to work? I really don't want to do that. And it's like, if I had to go back to work next month, like how could I spend time with him? Like working like the work day is 9 hours of every day. That leaves very little time to like do chores, do work around the house, and spend time with him. So I'm just incredibly lucky to be able to spend as much time as I want, basically. Like if I want to be all day here sitting with him in my arms, I can, and that's unbelievable. So I'm really happy that I can do it.
Is it easier or harder than you expected?
So far it's been, I wouldn't say it's been easier than I expected, because everyone, like obviously everyone tries to scare you and everyone tells you, oh, prepare to not sleep, and like I'm sure there's gonna be periods where we sleep less and like it's gonna be harder. But so far it's been like, yeah, it's work, and like yeah, you sleep worse, but so far it's been okay. Obviously, like this stuff accumulates, and like I don't know, 6 months from now I might say something different. But so far it's just like it's so new, and also having spent 2+ months going to see him in the hospital, just having him here, it's such a privilege that I feel like we value it a lot more. Ooh. Ooh.
As you saw in previous videos, we've been spending a lot of time on the bedroom lately, and these last weeks we've gone back to focus on the downstairs, on the living room, which yeah, we had the floor leveled a little while ago, we had the chimney removed, and we really need to finish off those jobs in there. We also set a deadline for ourselves as the end of October for when we wanted to get the stove back in, because the last few years it's been around then that we've been wanting to use the stove regularly, maybe not every evening. And yeah, it's currently mid-October. We have a couple of weeks of rain forecast, so I think we're actually going to try and get the stove in this weekend. Over the last few days we tried to install the stove ourselves, and it just wasn't happening. Like, I just don't get enough of a block of time. It's quite annoying to do anything that gets your hands dirty or anything like that, because then I go and I need to clean myself before I touch the baby and stuff, and it adds a lot of extra work and faff. So I think doing that kind of slightly dirty, heavy job between us is just not going to happen at the moment. So we've asked for some help with the stove. Our good friend John, who you've seen before helping us with stuff, is going to pop round for a few hours and just get it done. And yeah, thanks John.
Con las manchas, Harriet, pero aquí no pintamos todavía. Está un poco...
Good morning. It's a few days later than expected, but it's raining today, or it has been raining, so I think it's a good chance to start the stove and see how it works. However, first of all, we need to remove the plastic bag on top of the chimney, which we put on when it was open before we'd put the stovepipe in. And I need to find some dry wood from our wood store, which has seen better days. Actually, it's not that bad. I just borrowed a few of the planks that are on the roof for various projects, so it's got a few gaps in it and some of the wood gets a little bit wet, but I think we can find some dry wood in here. We've actually got a lot of wood. It's one of the things we've been prepared for ages. We did a lot of wood chopping this summer and spring, and we shouldn't have to buy wood this year, which is a nice bonus. This wood store is one of the projects that I just didn't quite get to finish. I started it early this year, or the end of last year I think, and I didn't quite get the roof done. It's also got super overgrown everywhere. I should have put some sort of material down on the ground, or wood chips or something, just to stop all the weeds and everything from growing back, because it's now, yeah, really overgrown and a bit of an annoying place to get to. We also never really got around to sorting out this pile here, so we need to do something with that. It's just one of the many projects that I kind of let go to this year. If you would like a tour of all the projects that we kind of abandoned and all the stuff that really needs sorting out right now, maybe I'll make a video on that, because there's quite a lot of unfinished things and stuff that we have just let go over the last 6-8 months. So let me know if you would be interested in that kind of unconventional homestead tour. Could be fun. Anyway, let's get some wood. You know what, thinking about it, I think I'm actually going to change this roof completely. I had been putting planks of tiles along here, but I found it really hard to find the right length planks. These are like 120, and a lot of pallets are just not 120, they're like 110 or something else, and the 120 ones are firstly harder to find, secondly it's just a lot of effort to break apart pallets, and thirdly, even though these are like the longest pallet pieces that you can get, they're not that long, they don't overhang that much on the roof, and they let the wood at the front and the back get a little bit wet. So I think I'm just going to give up with this roof idea and just buy some sort of roofing material, like sheets of roofing plastic or something with more of an overhang, and put those on instead. That was maybe a little bit dangerous because I didn't realise until I was about halfway up, but the tiles are a bit slippery because it's been raining, and also there's still a little bit of wasp activity under some of the tiles. There are wasps that live under there, and it's not quite cold enough yet for them to have stopped being active and coming out. So yeah, probably shouldn't have done that, but got the bag off the top of the chimney, so now we can light a fire, although as you can see it's really brightened up, the sun has come out, but I think we'll light a fire tonight anyway, just to test it out and have that cozy evening that we've been looking forward to. So I've just put some rock wool in around this pipe, separating the upstairs and the downstairs room. The pipe that goes out the roof is still open, so we've still got to block that in to make everything like completely sealed and stop any hot air escaping up the chimney. But that's a job for another day. What I wanted to do just now is just block off the separation between the upstairs and the downstairs room, so that at least downstairs the heat's not going up this little gap, and we can test whether this change has made a difference to how hot it feels in the downstairs room. I think it really will feel like it makes a big difference, but let's test it out. I haven't done this for ages. Yeah. I'm not sure I can remember how to light a fire.
Well, that's your fire starter.
Okay. Wait. Gonna use a fire starter because I don't think I can. I haven't got good kindling. Oh, how's this gonna... Where am I gonna put this?
Underneath.
Underneath the...
Yeah.
Yeah? This wouldn't be approved by a scouts leader. I've got some pallet wood though. That always... Oh!
Is it everything's open, right?
Yep. I just come upstairs to see what the tube's like, and it's super warm. You can feel the heat radiating off it. It's like having a radiator in the corner of your room. It's going to make such a difference. And I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, but it also makes like a really comforting like rumbling noise, I guess, as like the smoke comes up, or maybe it's just you can hear the flames from down below. It's kind of nice.
Nice. I really miss this. I miss the ritual of setting the fire, but also like just sitting here, the crackling.
Yeah.
It's really relaxing.
It feels so warm already. Like, yeah. I feel
I think it's
warm.
going to be too warm. I also really miss cooking with it. I think because we don't have an oven,
yet.
We don't really have baked things, and I really miss like baked veggies and stuff like that.
That's actually another bonus of having moved this stove out of the chimney, because it's got this oven compartment on top, but we could never use it because it was too far in the chimney. We could only open it a tiny bit and like shove very flat trays in. But now we can open this whole top bit and we can put things on the bricks. We can put saucepans or pans on the bricks and leave them to boil and cook for long periods of time. It's a real game changer.
It's too hot. If I was sat here, I get just a lot of radiation just from the side of the stove. And that side too, so that's great.
I'm over here and I feel hot. I think we might need to change you into some short sleeves. Yeah. So we were so happy with the first shelf that we put up that we're going to put another one up as well. However, this one's been sitting around for a bit too long and it's been attacked by woodworms, so I'm going to treat it with some anti-woodworm, anti-insect stuff. Hopefully that does the trick, because I still want to use it because it's a good shelf, it's a good piece of wood, and I've got just the place in mind for it. So I was trying to sand away some of the damage from the woodworm and smooth up the edge of this piece of wood, but the further I sand, the worse it gets. It's like the more layers I take off, I get like deeper into the wood and it's just full of holes from the woodworm. It looks even worse, so I don't know how far to go with this, whether to just leave it or just not use this piece of wood. Actually, if I cut into it quite far, then I get past the damage and it actually kind of looks alright, but it takes a big chunk out of the wood, which is fine because it's deep enough that we can lose a bit. Thinking I'm just going to cut this section with the jigsaw maybe and then try and straighten it up, but the whole charm of this wood is that it's kind of rustic and it's got like a natural edge. If I just cut it with the jigsaw, maybe I'll try and make like a wobbly line with the jigsaw so it still looks kind of rustic. I don't know. Una, that's your bed. That was your bed. So it's pretty narrow at one end. You could argue it's not really much of a shelf anymore, but I think I'm going to use it anyway. I just don't want to waste the wood. I'm going to treat it and varnish it and everything. I will spare you watching us put up another shelf. You've seen that already. However, I did just want to show you and say thank you to Todd, who sent us these new screwdrivers with different attachments. They are really good. He noticed in one of our videos, I don't know which one, that we were using a screwdriver which didn't look good. We're not experts in screwdrivers, but having used these, you can really tell the difference. They belong to an aircraft engineer, so yeah, hopefully aircraft engineers are using good screwdrivers. So yeah, these are really cool. You can really tell when you're like ratcheting them, it just feels really nice. So thank you so much for these, we love them. So this is our living room at the moment. There's our shelf. Don't look too closely over here. And then the other shelf went up here in Santi corner, and this is the one that got eaten by the woodworm, and I'm actually so glad I kept it and used it because you can't even tell that it's shorter on one end. Everything's rustic and wonky up here, and I think it looks really good. Again, don't look too closely over here, but one more step towards getting this room totally finished. So yeah, that's what we've been up to lately. It's been a lot of odd little jobs, finishing touches type things. Getting the stove in was a big bonus, so I'm really happy that we got that done. And yeah, life goes on. The renovation goes on slowly. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.